How's it going, guys? Necromancer Noob. I've been on that Marvel Rivals rank grind, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have been as well. And maybe not even just on the rank grind and quick play. If you're just into that, I'm going to be talking about the Thing. The Thing, I have to say right now, is probably top 3 tanks in the game right now. Who are the other two? I'd say Groot and Magneto. They're all good in their own little ways, but I'm going to be going over some Thing gameplay. I've been doing him... I've been doing very well with them. I'm going to go over some tips and tricks, things I like, things I dislike, things you should be doing, things you probably shouldn't be doing, and we're just going to go over everything, right? As I'm going over these tips and tricks, I'll just be showing a lot of gameplay of me playing him and just some big moments here and there. But in short, I want to say Thing is almost like the upgraded Hulk right now. He can peel off to your allies really easily. You can peel off to people on the front line or back line. He's really good when it comes to helping out against dives on your back line. He's really good on adding pressure to those shield tanks up front or just other tanks in general. He's really good at taking out squishy supports or just DPS on their team as well. And not to mention his skill set, his moves are just very strong. A lot of defense capabilities, a lot of good mobility and damage output. Now, the one thing that's really nice about the Thing is sometimes when I'm playing competitive just with friends or by myself, there are a lot of times I'm stuck as the only tank, and it doesn't feel like a major issue when I'm the Thing because, like I said before, you can jump in the back, help your teammates if they're getting dove on. You can jump up front again and help out in the front lines. You can do a lot of really good pressure if you're Haymaker. The majority of the time I'm throwing out that Haymaker. I am rarely using my regular melees, solely for the reason it has very good AoE capabilities. It does just about as much damage as your regular melee, but it's an AoE, so you can hit a lot of people with it. If they're bunched up, you're going to get your ultimate so quickly, so fast. Thing, if you're doing it correctly, can get his ultimate incredibly fast, so you can throw out your ult very fast, and you're kind of using it to pick off enemies. It doesn't matter if there's one or two, as long as you get a pick here and there, it does its job. But not to mention, every time you throw out that little Haymaker punch, you're going to get a little bit of armor. It's about 50 armor in total, but that adds up. You keep that on a constant thing. Even if enemies aren't around you, you just kind of throw out that Haymaker, and it just does a good job of keeping you up and alive. Another really good thing about the Thing is he just makes shield metas very obsolete, at least Doctor Strange. If he throws that shield up, it's easy pickings. You get easy hits on him and people behind him. The shield doesn't block it, so the best thing a Strange can do is just go 1v1 mano to mano and try to hit you and out damage you, but most cases that's not happening. They get pressured, they keep backing up, they throw their shields up, and it's not helping the situation whatsoever. Same with someone like Invisible Woman. She can throw her shield up on someone, you just kind of work your way around it, get some Haymaker hits on whoever she's trying to block or her, and it's just easy pickings. And I'll go into more detail, but for example, when I mentioned the dive meta and dive characters, we got a Venom and Spider-Man on the enemy team, and if my backline is ever getting threatened or something along those lines, I dive onto them, I give them a damage reduction, I give myself a damage reduction, and if I have a Sue on my team, which is even better, I get an extra damage reduction along those lines. So I am very hard to kill. I get in their ways to make sure at least it's a lot harder for them to pick my support team off. And if we have, a Captain America on our team, if he's diving and harassing their front line, something like that, I can just jump to him and completely help him out, give him extra damage reduction, keep him in the fight a lot longer. But the nice thing is when it comes to those dive characters like Venom, Magic, Spider-Man, Black Panther, you don't need to have perfect aim to get good hits on them with your Haymaker. As long as you're kind of looking in the vicinity, you can get solid hits on them, keep pressure on them, and back them up, which is what you want really at the end of the day. You may not always save your supports. They may still get picked off like in a few of these clips, but I'm making it a lot harder for their backline to really get some good capitalization on what they're trying to do. Kind of makes what they're doing a little bit pointless. Which I mentioned for just a brief second, but team ups. Let's talk about characters that go really well with the Thing. Invisible Woman is almost a must. It just really helps out. That extra damage reduction boost is just amazing. It is really good. It just helps you keep in the fight a lot longer, and it's just a really nice team up. She gets extra healing benefits from it, so it's just a win-win for everyone. Now, in forms of tank team ups, Magneto and Groot go really well with the Thing. Either one, take your pick. A good Groot with their good wall placements and just crazy damage output, you can really just single out an enemy, single out a few people, block off certain paths, and really just make it a brawl, or just you can make the game play out a little bit more how you want it to play out, right? And Magneto kind of almost does the same thing as the Thing, but just a little differently. He can't dive onto someone per se, but he can throw a shield on whoever he wants. Really just keep someone in the fight. He can keep you in the fight longer. He can keep the back line in fights a lot longer. So you're kind of just like the ultimate defense, right? You're giving damage reduction. You're giving shields that are invulnerability. It's just a really good combo all in all. That being said, something like a Hulk is really good as well if done in the right hands. Like you got double brawlers, double dives basically that can just really harass the front lines or back lines, you name it. And that being said, really nice thing for DPS. If you have a Wolverine on your team, you do get that team up like the Hulk with the fastball special. But Wolverine is really good at kidnapping enemies or just diving on someone in particular. You can dive on him as well to make it just a 2v1 very easily, really get a quick pick on someone, or just really take out those tanks a lot easier on the enemy team. And the nice thing is when it comes to someone like the Thing, he does have that like non-CC where you can't get crowd controlled for certain things. So like Wolverine can't dive you and take you out of the fight, push you away. Thor can't push you around with his hammer. Spider-Man, good luck trying to pull him around because you can't. So that being said, and it's not a lot of the metas, you know, people get very scared of a Wolverine on the enemy team because they will just destroy your tanks. That's not really the case for the Thing. You don't really have to worry about it as much, at least. But now let's go into the enemy team and characters that you may have to look out for if you're trying to play the Thing. And number one is Groot. A good Groot player can be your worst nightmare. He can set up walls, break your line of sight, because the best thing about the Thing is he has great mobility if you have a good line of sight on your teammates. If you don't have good line of sight on your teammates, you can be easy pickings. You can't get out of a situation very quickly. The second you try to get up close and brawl against one of them, he can really just close you off, and then you're just out of the fight, or at least your team's out of the fight, and you're just left to just get picked off. A good Groot can really shut down your Thing gameplay, so just be wary of that. Just watch out for that. Another good pick or counter pick is Magneto. Magneto can really do a good job at just peeling off on someone and just making sure you don't get that pick that you want. Good Magneto makes it very hard to capitalize on kills that you want or just final hits. And of course, someone like the Thing or the Hulk on the enemy team is really good against you as well in the right hands, in the right circumstances. They kind of just do the same thing that you're trying to do. You know, they can peel off on someone if you're trying to terrorize them. They can kind of put good shields on people or good defense on people, making it really hard to kill, making it really hard to get the, you know, final hits that you want on someone. Also, this probably should have been something I threw in the video earlier, but make sure you go into your settings. And for the Yancey Street Charge, which is that tackle ram move that can lift enemies up in the air and then you finish with the slam on the ground, you can actually change it to where you either have to hold it, which is what you want to change it to. I think it's preset to where you just click it and then you have to click it again to finish it off. But you want to switch that setting to off to where you have to hold it, because at the end of the day, the slam at the end really does the good damage and you lift people up in the air as long as you get that hit in. You can always hold it and get the ram and the charge to get, like I'm covering distance right now with it, I'm just holding it down. But at the end of the day, you want as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. So you change that toggle to where you just throw it out immediately. So you do a combo, something like your Haymaker, your Yancey Street Charge, another Haymaker directly after, maybe get a few punches in, but that is going to do some very big damage very quickly. And, you know, for a lot of enemies, that can usually just kill them pretty fast. But we're getting to the end of the video. Those are kind of my tips and tricks. In short, he has a really good toolkit to get up close and personal, put good pressure on the enemy team. He has really good potential to dive back and help your teammates and help your supports. We talked about good team ups on your team and characters on the enemy team that you may not want to see. The Haymaker is your best friend. That's going to be your bread and butter. Use your ultimate to get good picks on enemies and good characters. It is also really good to get good crowd control if you're in a nice big crowd. They don't have any support ults out. One of the best things right now is that he's not really banned very often, right? Groot and Magneto, sometimes Strange and other tanks get a lot more priority of getting banned first. So let's keep it that way, right? Because we want to keep this thing our little secret and, you know, keep popping off with them. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope these tips and tricks helped you out. I hope you learned something here and there. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, it all helps out. There's plenty more Marvel Rival videos on the way, plenty of other video games I'm going to be covering in the future. But that is about it for me, so I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you have a good rest of your day. It's clobbering time. Here's the thing. Got to throw on those in there, right? Because, you know, can't have it without a thing video. But anyways, I'll see you guys in future videos. Bye-bye.
Your thing is putting out damage lately. Pause. Damn, I got fucking minus 26 on that. Holy
That's
fuck.
what my thing does, son.
I was wondering why you, dude. I didn't even fucking think about it like that until you said pause. Shut the fuck up.
Sus.
Major damage.